welcome to Red Mega. I'm Adrian Mega, and One Punch Man chapter 139. I know it's been a while since I know it's been like a week since I uploaded, and I know that the One Punch Man chapters have come out. I've just been waiting for all the webcomic chapters to come out, so that's my next video. And then I'm planning on doing a Nomu video about for my monster manual. I've been meaning to do that. It's been like 2 months since I did it. And I'm getting to One Punch Man, and first of all, Blast. We get to meet Blast in this chapter. Not like a flashback to Blast for the last few chapters. Actually, Blast. This is a huge deal, because we haven't met this guy ever. Like, we get to see some of the stuff we did. Like, even in the webcomic, we haven't met this guy yet. This is the first interaction ever that we've met. It's been ages since we met this guy. We've known about him. We get like hints at him, but we've never met this guy, and we get some explanations on why he's just been like not in the picture. I'll get to it later, but it makes total sense on why he's not around, and explains some webcomic things that I will mention in webcomic videos. But time to get to the cover page. The cover page is split down the middle. It took me a while to realize what the hell this was, but I realized that the one on the right, the one on the left is an astronaut in space, and on the left it's actually a deep sea diver with an octopus behind it. And both have a cube. We learn about what this cube is. We haven't really gotten any information about this in the webcomic, and we also get some explanation on God. So what I'm getting from this is that these cubes can basically be anywhere. Like, they could be in space, they could be at the bottom of the ocean, like the one we know about. Like, we've seen, like, if we take this image as an example, we know 4 different locations of a cube: space, underwater, underground, and in a laboratory. And there's probably dozens of these cubes. Like, this is a big deal because it's basically explained that these cubes are like energy, are like connectors to God. Like, say if you touch the cube, and these cubes are incredibly heavy, like it was really hard for even Flash, who is not a pushover, he's still an S-class hero, and he has some physical strength, he has a lot of physical strength, but he is fast, and it was hard for him to lift it. And when the cube hit the ground, it basically shattered the ground. And although it's easy for Saitama and Blast, it's like Blast can easily just spin it on his finger without actually doing anything. And we also get to learn about, I forget this monster's name, but it has light abilities. It was either this is a new thing, or I just forgot about it. And basically, they hear the voice of God. Not the one you're thinking of, like the monster God. And like, this is definitely setting up like God is like the main antagonist of the series. Like, he is the final boss. Like, it could be like a devil's deal. Like, basically God says 3 candidates, and that doesn't happen often, so I bet it's like normally one person. This kind of reminds me of if you read Berserk, the best example is, I forget their names, but they're items that basically, when you're at your lowest point, you get this thing, and you get to turn into you turn into an apostle, which gives you increased strength, speed, basically everything. You turn into a monster, but you have to give up something. I think it's not the same thing, but I get similar vibes. Like, you find one of these things, you make a deal with God, basically give you increased power, and you have to serve him. And we get to see like some abilities of what Blast can do, because there's like this spatial distortion, which basically just makes a portal, which just like kind of looks like a black hole in Saturn. To me, that's what it looks like to me. And then you like to see Blast like doing this, and also I prefer this design of Blast over the other ones. I know it's very similar. It's basically the same outfit, but I'd have to say this look of Blast is way better. Like, Blast looks more rough, is the best way I can describe it. I didn't like the original look, but this one looks better because Blast looks like more grizzled, like more like his armor has some damage. It looks like he's been working. He looks like he's been working hard to complete his goals. Like, this isn't easy work. Like, I don't know, it just makes the design, he looks better. And also, we don't know most of his abilities. Like, we know he can teleport because he teleports Saitama and all this by using that black hole thing. I don't know if this is like his suit or him, because when he does it, he puts his hands together and creates an infinity symbol. And Blast, he actually has a better personality than I thought he would, because he's actually really nice. Like the original time we met Blast in the webcomic was when Tatsumaki's flashback, which showed him as like in the webcomic he was way more cold, is the best way to describe it. Like, he didn't really care, like, if I'm not going to be around forever to protect you. In this one, Blast seems like kind of like the cool older uncle, is the best way I can describe him. He seems like a nice guy, but he doesn't do much. He does his job, and he like has sunglasses like me, but that's not the reason why I like him. It's just he has this design's better. Like, some tweaks makes it look way better, and plus he has like this scar over his face like Garou and Royal Ripper from Royal Ripper fight, and like Blast just spins it on his finger, like the thing that crushed the ground just by dropping it. Yeah, he's spinning it on his finger. And like Blast, and like God knows about this guy. He knows that Blast has been screwing up his plans. Like, Blast clearly thinks that the S-Class heroes can deal with all the threats and all the monsters. And he's dealing with like the apex threat, like God. Like, God is definitely the end game boss. And he's like, yeah, you found one of these things. I keep finding them. I'm trying to make sure that God gets a minimum power, although I do hope that Blast does show up every once in a while, not every single arc. Like, I do think that he'll be a major player in the final arc, although keep him showing up every once in a while, like, keep him showing up, make it more frequently. Like, you don't have to wait even longer between right now and the beginning of the story. Just come show up every once in a while. Make it more fluent so then he easily glides into the story more. Don't make it still a big event like this is. Like, Blast clearly knows about God and is trying to stop him. Like, Blast lets all the other S-Class, I'm just going on, but Blast knows the threat. And basically he says at the end, basically say hi to Sitch and Tatsumaki. So he clearly has a relationship with both those characters, which is pretty cool. And plus, I'll get to Flash being like, is this really Blast? I should test him. Like, Flash goes in for a flashy kick, and Blast just is like, calm down for a second. Like, he's like very calm. He's just like, you don't need to attack me. Just calm down and let's talk. Like, I'm gonna say that he's a guy who wants to understand and stop like massive threats. Like, I don't think he's going to be in the middle of the next fight. I don't think we're gonna see him fight for a long time. This is like his first introduction and then we're not going to see him for a while. That's all I'm going to say. We're not going to see him for a while. Probably not until the end of the Neo Heroes arc, because if you read the webcomic, yeah, that character probably has some connections here. And like, Flash is sweating. He's like, oh shit, this guy's fast. They're like speed blitzing, like he's right behind him, like being, hey, calm down for a sec. And then Blast I guess he doesn't really like monsters that much. Understandable, because he looks at, I forget Mike Wazowski monster's name. He's like, you have a monster here and it doesn't seem to be a prisoner. Should I get rid of it? And Saitama's like, nah, she's our guide. She's really kind of helpful. And then Blast is like, alright. And then he like puts his hands together and teleports them out. And also, I forgot to mention, space and time in like that area that when they touched the cube, space and time kind of warped, so it might have been like a few minutes there, but it was only like less than a second, that whole conversation. And I think Blast is just going to drop them off at the end of this chapter and go find more cubes, try to stop all this. And then like we get a Child Emperor and Zombie Man and Sweet Moss basically being like, well, Child Emperor is mainly like, I shouldn't have like kept Genos and Bang off the team because I didn't trust him. I do believe that you should be the leader, Zombie Man. And Amaya Mask is like, you shouldn't have a half monster basically on the team. And Child Emperor is just like, he's not a monster, quit saying that. And if you want to know about this, it's basically Zombie Man's like, hey, I think that the best leader of all of us should be you. I trust you. You, basically, the leader of our team should be the most human of us. And then like, Amaya Mask has like this somber expression, like, that is quite obvious to like webcomic readers, because you'll know what that is. And then Energy Blast show up and basically tear Zombie Man apart. Like, he pushes Child Emperor out of the way, so he thought of the kid first, because to him it didn't matter if he got worked up. And like, we see it's very gory, and like Homeless Emperor shows up and is like, what part of you is human, Zombie Man? And then Tatsumaki just like destroys Orochi, and then we get like a small image of like people giving sacrifices to maybe like the monster god, like to God. Although this creature does look more like Orochi than anything else. And we also get insta-kill, which is still there, on the pillar. So, this chapter, it shows Blast, which is a very, very big deal, which we haven't met him in the current storyline. We know of him, we've seen him in flashbacks, but this is the first time we've seen him in modern day. So, Blast we see that definitely he is powerful. He's not, although we don't really have any gauges, we definitely know that he's physically stronger than Flash, which is, I'd say, still a big feat. But like, his Flash strength isn't physical strength, it's speed. So I wonder if, like, say, like if we see more cubes, like if we see more cubes, maybe like Tank Top Master, Darkshine, like that, those types of characters, like Pretty Prisoner, see if they could lift the cubes and how difficult it is for them. Like, Blast could easily lift the cube, like, no diff. And he's definitely, we got some different feats with speed. He's definitely top tier in the verse, because Flashy Flash, I'd have to say, is third so far that I'm seeing. He's only like the third fastest character in the series. Like, Blast is obviously faster, and so is Saitama. So those two are stronger, are faster. And with this teleportation ability, we possibly have some other stuff, and I'll get to webcomic stuff in another video I make when I do my webcomic reviews. And let's see, nothing really much, but we definitely have that transportation ability, so we can basically instantaneous transport. So he doesn't have to worry about like transportation or being seen, because he can instantly go from place to place. Although it does seem like it's not a automatic thing. Like, he did create like a portal. He threw the cube up, made a portal, and it went into the portal. So I guess it's easy. Maybe he might be a teleportation fighter, or maybe he could have energy attacks, or he could be an Esper. We don't know. Or he could just be a straightforward brawler, and like the technology in his suit could be like that. And like, Blast has some damage on his armor. That makes it seem like, yeah, this guy doesn't really have much time to really go around and fix up his stuff. Like, his cape's all tattered, like there's scratches all over his armor, like, and there's even a scar on his face. Like, I'm not even sure Tatsumaki knows about that scar. Like, we've never seen that scar in any of the backstory, so I'm gonna say that's pretty close. And we didn't see him wearing the sunglasses. I don't know why. He seems way chill in this. Maybe he does have psychic Esper abilities, I don't know. But he is powerful. And we definitely now have an explanation on why he's not around. Because he's trying to collect all the cubes, and I do think that it's not very often that a cube shows up, but when it does, it's a big threat, and he has to get there real quick. Although there might be like 15 to a few dozen. Those are the estimates. And this was a good chapter. Can't deny. We get to see Blast. And that's it. This is Web Manga. I am Adrian Manga, signing out.